Mwah. Hello, everyone. My name is Alec. I'm going to be doing this a little bit extemporaneously. I have prepared some notes, but otherwise, I'm going to be going more or less off the cuff for this one. I would like to tell you that I am black-pilled on technology, that I hate it. I'm getting more and more pissed off with the digital environment and specifically social media and AI. And so today I would like to go through my own experience getting to this point and provide some anecdotes. Please do not ask me for evidence or write source in the comments because it's not gonna be there. There's gonna be none, and you're not gonna get any. It's all up in my shiny bald head. So you can comment that I'm bald, and that would be a valid one. But I'm gonna give 3 takeaways first that are thematic of this entire experience. So first off, no one has the mystical solution to the algorithm. All content online is used to drive revenue or attention in order to drive revenue. Secondly, digital marketing is a stupid scam and ChatGPT makes you dumb. So let's talk about it. So I grew up with Club Penguin. I grew up with Minecraft. I pimped out some girls on RuneScape. I have had multiple different YouTube channels, and I have essentially grown up and reached adolescence at the same time a lot of social media platforms were. It seemed kind of like a fun Wild West, like a digital Wild West for someone to make money on. And I'm sure it was at the time, but as you will see through my story, and I'm sure through many of your own personal experiences, that that is certainly not the case. Anymore, at least. I went originally to college for digital film production. I was very eager to get out into the field and work as a video editor or like a producer on a film set. When I get to college, it was fall 2020. I couldn't leave my dorm room that was 10 miles away from the house that I grew up in. And none of my classes were seated. They were all online. So I was just sleeping. And I was hungover, so I just had my camera off, and I could cheat on all of them. So obviously, even before ChatGPT was like ruining academia, I was just disenfranchised with my own learning and with my own capabilities as a student because I could just cheat and nothing would happen. And so I switched over my degree to business, and then I promptly dropped out. And I saw this job listing for what I thought would be my dream job at the time, which was working at, this is a fake name, Hyperspace Marketing LLC. But I will go through the story first and kind of explain why social media marketing is such a stupid scam and what I learned from this company and why I feel like I am indebted to tell you through my own public shaming. So if anyone tells you that they have the magic solution and the philosopher's stone and they can turn lead to gold online through their marketing, they're just lying to you. And not only are they lying to you, they need to look like they're capable enough that they can continue to keep up that image, because as we'll get onto later on, attention converts into revenue, because if you're making a big enough viral splash online, then you're going to direct some traffic towards what actually makes you money. It manifests itself in very interesting ways when a creator like Andrew Tate, for example, can make like grandiose claims about women and what they mean to society, but all of that attention is trickling in to the few people who are going to buy his course. So it doesn't matter if you think he's stupid or not, he's still getting people to buy it. It's the same thing as Bonnie Blue getting roasted on whatever podcast she goes on, but like you're still getting the 1 or 2 guys who are going to go subscribe to her OF page and pay her a bunch of money. So it's kind of the same thing in social media marketing, where attention is the most important thing possible. If you can present a veneer of success, you will get success. It's essentially fake it till you make it on steroids, because you can cultivate your own personal image or brand image, and it's not real. So Hyperdrive Marketing LLC, what it boils down to is capture as many clients as possible with grandiose claims about what you can do. So my boss in particular would say that we've developed, this fantastic growth package, and we have contacts in Meta who tell us what's going on every day, and like all of these different things that are in no way verifiable, in no way possible. The algorithms online, as you know, if you're a content creator, through no matter what service that you're using, is entirely proprietary. So no one except who is in the company knows what the algorithm is going to do. Even if you're like a Meta business partner, which a lot of these social media marketing companies will advertise that they are, that just means that you have a certain amount of ad spend from your clients going into Meta. So you have like a specialized contact at Meta. Performance is never guaranteed. So the only guaranteed results are scaled by how much money you're willing to spend. So higher paying clients are the harpoon whales. You're trying to get them on and hope that they don't notice that you can just do this by yourself. The lower paying clients are going to quickly figure out that their $100 to $200 on advertising revenue isn't really going to go anywhere. The business model is essentially passing all of the costs over to the business that is partnering with Hyperdrive. So you pay as the client all of the ad spend. So let's say you're spending $1,000 a month directly towards your ads. Not only that, you spend like $200 to $500 on your operational costs for Hyperdrive to facilitate these advertising, to create the copy for you, to create the creatives, to work in the background on your audience targeting and the strategy of your marketing campaign. In reality, the person who is working on your portfolio spends about 10 to 30 minutes a day if they even get to you at all. Especially now, there's things like Performance Max campaigns on Google where you can just literally click a button and all of the work that a digital marketing firm pretends like they do is done by Google. One of my clients was a small boutique in like Oklahoma, and they were paying about $250 in Meta advertising ad spend with us, and then whatever other costs are on top of that for us facilitating the minimal work that I did on a day-to-day basis. And they messaged us and they're like, hey, we just increased our ad spend from like 200 to 250 and we're not seeing any results and we really need some money right now. Like, what is going on? Why are you not helping? And my boss sends this like giant paragraph email. It was like, you should have been listening to me. How dare you doubt me? And then linked like 4 different links to his podcast on like, that were like marketing LinkedIn slop. And so that's kind of what I did. I quit Hyperdrive marketing and I started my own at-home business, and essentially just lying about the nature of my business because I'm collecting clients and I'm not doing that much work, but I'm making all the money when they see very negligible returns. And so I kind of just ended up lying just like my boss. And I was trying to conceptualize this in my head and say, oh, everyone in sales does it. It's just part of the game. It's just business. But at the same time, I'm doing something, I'm literally misrepresenting myself. I'm lying, and realize that not only is this me dealing with all of this cognitive dissonance, but everyone online, when they're misrepresenting themselves, when they're lying, when they're trying to do anything they can to break it into virality, they are really just cultivating this hyper grandiose image in the small hopes that it converts into something for them. And so I couldn't really handle that. And after a couple of years, I kind of quit and like moved on. And so I just went back to school after dropping out. And this is where the AI stuff comes in, and why, like, this is my own anecdotal experience on why I think AI is very detrimental to like cognitive function and like the way people think. If you're using it all the time, then you're just going to become really reliant on it to the point where it really just shoots you in the foot. I was in an international marketing course, and there was a definition on the board for ethnocentrism, which is like the belief that one's culture is better than another culture. So like me as a Midwesterner, I would believe that I am better than someone from Sri Lanka or something. This person next to me has ChatGPT open, and they're looking at the board, and they're looking at the definition of ethnocentrism, and they type into ChatGPT, what is the definition of ethnocentrism? And it spits out like 4 or 5 sentences, and and they say, shorten this for me into 1 sentence. And so it gives them that, and then they copy it and put it into the document. So instead of just looking at the board and writing down the 1 sentence that was there, they chose to make it harder on themselves by having like having a comfortable and affirming voice be like, yes, absolutely, you're the smartest person in the world. Here's 5 sentences. Another example in this same semester. So I'm in my capstone management course, and it is the first class that I've taken in 2024 at this time. That it has incorporated an anti-AI like usage policy. This whole class is built on grouping together and making a fake business plan for a business that doesn't exist. And so we were making this this marketing plan and this business plan for like a fictional architecture company. And I was working on like the videos and the advertisements and like the internal training videos. And so these are all things that I know how to do. And it's very obviously my work and my voice over it. So it's not AI. But the rest of my group is developing our business plan and our stuff with artificial intelligence. And so I was getting graded on my work, but they were getting graded in my group for zeros because what they were doing is obviously not real. It's like it's not this, it's this kind of shit. And like the dashes and like, it's what my professor flags them for zeros because they've used AI. This girl in my group who's some like spoiled brat girl, and she's like, I would never do such a thing. I would never be academically dishonest. And this girl in my group goes to the dean, and the dean starts having this like arbitration between them. And it turns into this big giant thing that this girl she would never be academically dishonest. Look at her grades. And then the professor was fired because the professor was using AI to detect if a paper was AI. But anyways, so that's my big story, is that within like a year of ChatGPT being released, my professor directly in front of me was fired for using it. And my students, the students who were around me, got away with using it and learned nothing. This is not very hard material. It's business school. There's a reason why business school has the reputation it does for being easy, is because it's easy. And like, especially in the discussion boards and stuff, like, I just genuinely cannot believe that like they just don't care. Some people don't care, and they still have like oh yes, absolutely, here's the response to this person's post. And then at the bottom, it's like, would you like me to add any changes? And then they just send it out onto Brightspace or Blackboard or wherever it is. And like, I could definitely get a more cogent discussion out of like Kiwi Farms. I've got a minute left on my capture card, so I've totally got to bounce. But I walked away from my own social media marketing business because I was tired of the cognitive dissonance from lying to people all the time. And especially when AI came around, I was doing even less for my clients. Secondly, I'm enrolling in a master's of history instead of business because I'm tired of my experience personally in business. And I found back here so many things that inspire me, so many things that intellectually stimulate me, things that make me feel good about myself. Yeah, it just allowing me to kind of reclaim who I was again, as opposed to constantly lying about who I am in my digital marketing persona and all sorts of stuff. So let's talk about the takeaways again. No one has the mystical solution to the algorithm. The pretenses of success drive success, so people are always pretending and garnering attention for themselves to then convert that into actual success. All content online, all content is used to drive revenue or attention in order to drive revenue, whether that be for you, the producer of the video, or the advertiser who has placed an ad on your video. It's all about attention, baby. And then finally, digital marketing is a fucking scam. Please don't get fooled.